And we're caught in a cycle, and our children are paying the price. Well, when we look at this particular text in Genesis, we see that Jacob's family, was just as dysfunctional as you could get. Not only was his immediate family a bag of mixed nuts, Mother Swan, but he came from a family that was jacked up. Come on, somebody. I know you don't like us preaching about Bible figures like this, but when Jacob was born, he was named Jacob by his parents. That tells you his family was jacked up right there. Because Jacob means slick, conniving trickster. Now, who in the world is going to name their child slick, conniving trickster? They named him that because when he came out of the womb, he was clutching the heel of his brother Esau. And understand that in biblical days, names were prophetic. They basically dictated the destiny of the child. They were a prophecy about their pilgrimage. See, they didn't name their kids after their favorite TV show. Y'all ain't gonna help me now. But y'all know y'all can come up with some crazy names. They didn't name their children after their favorite car. There weren't no Porsches, no Chevrolets. They didn't name their children after their favorite alcoholic drink. Kids walking around named Hennessy and Pina Colada and tequila. Y'all ain't gonna help me in here. But he was given that jacked up name because he found himself in a family where his father favored his brother Esau. But check this out for family rivalry. Though his daddy favored his twin brother Esau, his mama favored him. Now, you know that's a mess right there. Can you imagine being a son in a male-dominated culture and growing up in a household where you desire the affection of your daddy, but your daddy instead favors your twin brother? In a male-dominated world, Jacob wound up being a mama's boy. Y'all got to help me preach here. You know how you feel about mama's boys. And here's the irony, ladies. Y'all thought y'all was going to get off scot-free on this. It's ironic that women reject and don't want a mama's boy for their man. Got quiet. See how quiet it got? But then they turn around and create one with their own sons. Now, if you don't want no mama's boy, don't be making your boy into one for somebody else. Well, somebody ought to say, go on and preach, Pastor. I know I'm taking a slight detour, but it's ironic how women, watch this, you reject a man that lives with his mama. Am I right about it? Am I preaching to somebody? Where you live? Well, I live with my mama. Pump the brakes. You watch this now. Y'all with me right now, but you ain't gonna be in a minute. It's amazing how some sisters reject a man that lives with his mama, but will open the door for a man that lives with his wife. Somebody say, preach, Pastor, preach. Look at Jacob's situation. Jacob wanted the attention of his father, but his father favored Esau. And your name might not be Jacob, but you know what it's like to grow up in a household, some of you, craving the affection, the attention, the admiration of a parent, but their attention is someplace else, and you feel rejected by that parent. And that's what was going on in Jacob's family. Even though he physically and geographically left that family and went to another area to find his own wife and begin his own family, the mess he experienced at home followed him into his situation. Let me suggest to you that if you don't deal with the issues that you have in your bloodstream, then you are going to carry the germs of that situation into your new situation. And I know there are many who just couldn't wait to get married so they could get out of mama's house. Well, if mama's house was a mess and you came out of that mess, then guess what? If you're not careful, you will carry that mess into the new situation. Mama was jaded when it came to men. And you brought that jaded mentality into your relationship with your husband. Daddy was AWOL, and you had no example how to treat a woman, and you brought that lack of knowledge and understanding into your own marriage. You were hurt and had trouble trusting folk. Now you don't trust your spouse, although they've done nothing to deserve that lack of trust. You watched your daddy disrespect and abuse women, and now you don't respect your woman. If you're not careful, you will bring that baggage from home into your current situation. Let me show it to you. It's right here in the text. Look at Jacob's family mess. Watch this. Jacob had 2 wives, 2 concubines, 12 kids by these 4 different baby mamas, and the baby mamas didn't like each other. Jacob really only loves one of them, but he got to put up with all of them because he got kids by all of them. And guess what? Because the baby mamas don't like each other, the kids don't like each other either. Come on, somebody. They definitely were not the Huxtables living there. The Bible said that Jacob has made so many wrong turns, he's caught up in a vicious cycle of dysfunctionality. Chapter 34 gives us a vivid description of Jacob's family mess. Because of Jacob's wrong turns, watch this, his daughter Dinah, after going to visit the women of the land, was spotted by a brother named Shechem, the son of Hamor, the Hivite, the prince of the country. And Shechem wanted her so bad that he raped her. And after he physically violated her, Shechem decides that he loves her and wants to marry her. And of course, Dinah's brothers are so upset that they concoct a scheme to get back at Shechem. Shechem falls in love with her, and they say, okay, if you want to marry our sister, all of the men of Shechem have to go according to our custom, and they have to be circumcised. Now watch this. Now, it's one thing to circumcise a baby on the 8th day, which is the Jewish tradition. And babies have a higher tolerance to pain. Come on, somebody. It's one thing to circumcise an 8-day-old baby. It's another thing to circumcise a grown man. Brother, say ouch. And so, come on, somebody. The book says that while the men were vulnerable, because they had been circumcised, they had lost blood, they were weak, they were vulnerable, Jacob's sons now come into their camp and they commit mass murder, and they murder all of the men in Shechem. Now watch the story now. Jacob has a daughter who's been raped. His sons are now gangsters. Come on, somebody. He has wives who can't stand each other. Because of a wrong turn, Jacob's life is all jacked up. And all of us may not have a mess quite like that. But we got some daddies who strayed. We got some mamas who have been messed over. We got some bad situations between sisters and brothers. Am I talking to somebody? Now, because all of this began when Jacob made a wrong turn, Jacob is afraid that those who had been victimized are now